Hi, good evening. Hello. Welcome to those who are watching live on the web. Welcome to my replay viewers. Thank you so much for watching. Welcome to those who are joining right now. Thank you so much for joining. It's been a little bit while since I've been on here. Hey, Siobhan. Hey, welcome to those who are joining right now. Hope you guys are doing great this evening. So let me introduce myself really quick. My name is Choma. I'm a registered nurse. I'm a new nurse mentor, which means that I help new nurses transition to the nursing field. I help teach you how to pass your NCLEX, land your first nursing job, and create your nursing dreams. And so we're going to be talking tonight. I'm going to be talking, this is not going to be a very long scope. Hey, how are you? This is not going to be a very long scope. It's only going to be about 10 minutes because I have somewhere to be after this. But it's called How to Save $50,000 in a Year as a New Nurse. Okay, so and it's so doable because I get a lot of people who tell me like, I don't know if I should go to nursing or not because I really want to save a lot of money so I can buy my first house. I'm like, that's exactly why you need to you can do it, like, because a lot of people are afraid about the cost and everything. But I'm going to tell you guys some really good techniques, some really good methods that's going to help you put aside 50 grand. It's not going to be easy, like, nothing ever is ever easy, but it's going to help you put aside, so that's motivation to go, definitely. It's going to help you put aside $50,000 in a year. So this is perfect because the year just started. So if you're really serious and you're in a position where you just started a job, you can definitely apply this. Thank you so much. Blessings to you as well. So if you're not, and if this is your first time scoping, please let me know. Tell me that you're a first timer. Tell me where you're scoping from. And if you're not already following me, go ahead and follow me. So first of all, what I did, and this is all on my website, choosenursing.net. There's an article called How to Save 50K as a New Nurse. Okay, so I broke down the numbers so that way it's very practical, I should say. So to save, I did one for $50,000, or if you want to try and aim towards saving towards $40,000. So there are $50,000, you have to put aside $4,167 per month for 12 months to save $50,000, okay? And then, and that's about $2,083.50 in 2 weeks every pay period. So the average, it depends. This number is based on California, because I know that it's lower in most other states. That's why it depends on where, but there's still some really high paying states that's not in California. So the average new grad rate, like for that per diem, and what per diem means is like no benefits, that's $37 per hour. That's what the average is. But as staff, it's $27 per hour. So, but to save $40,000 a year, that's only $3,333 and for 12 months. Totally doable. I'm gonna break it down, and you're gonna see how it's not as hard as you think. There's so many nurses that are doing this, and they're just stacking up. Okay, so the hourly, like I said, the hourly new grad rate for with benefits, on average is $27 per hour if you're in California, which is about $1,666 in a 2-week period times 2 if you're saving $40,000 a year. So I factored all that stuff out for you guys. And then, so these are the tips. So these are practical tips, like anybody can do it within your first year. The first one is that you ideally get a job working at a hospital, because hospitals pay more. That's just plain and blank. If you can, try and aim for a job at a hospital. There's some people who are like, well, I want to take the easy route first. Try to avoid clinics, try to avoid all that, maybe later on in your career, but get a job at a hospital because it's going to pay you a lot more. Hey, Lance Liner. Okay, so that's the first tip. That's going to help you build. So now the second one, this is something that I see a lot. A lot of nurses do once they get once they get a new job, they get so excited they go out and buy a BMW car, or they buy a Lexus, or they buy a Benz. The tip number 2, don't buy a luxury car. I know it's like everybody else is doing it. You're really excited about your new job, about your new career. You're making all that money. Yes, they do. I'm currently a pharmacy tech. I'm starting that. Oh, you want to work hospital pharmacy? That's a great idea. That's a really great idea. I highly recommend doing that. There's definitely a need for pharmacy people who are familiar in pharmacy area. So yeah, don't buy that luxury car, because when you think, the thing about buying the luxury car, not only do you have to pay now for a car note, which is on average like what, for a luxury car, maybe $400 a month, and then you put on top of the expenses of the insurance, then on top of that, if something happens to your car, you have to pay for that too. So it's a lot, it's expensive, so that's eating away at the money that you're trying to save. So that's not going to help you save the money. So that's why I recommend that you stick with the car that you currently have, or find another route to get to work. If you can for like a year, just dedicate to like maybe only taking a bus. If you can just dedicate that to a year, you will save so much money, and it will be so worth it. And then after that year, then you can live the life that you really want to live. Okay, then the number 3, okay, this one sounds very silly. I know this sounds really silly. Yes, thank you. It sounds really silly, but don't pay for rent. I know, it doesn't make any sense, right? So what I mean is, like, if you have the luxury of if your parents you know, are willing, live with your parents, stick it out for a year, live with your parents if that's an option, and not pay for rent, and just save. Like, if you can, that's a viable option. That's something that you should really highly consider doing when you first get a job, because you can stack up your money a lot more quickly if you go through that route. So I would really encourage you to find a way not to pay. And then on top of that, not only you're paying, unless you should be contributing something, but not only you're not paying for groceries, you don't have to worry about utilities, you don't have to worry about laundry, all that money, all that stuff that eats up, you know. Yes, I'm working pharmacy tech while studying yeah. Good. Yeah, see, and it's totally doable. You know, it doesn't matter how much it does and it doesn't, how much money you're making, but if you really apply the principles, you can save up the money really fast. And then I'll tell you what you should do with the money once you get to the 50,000. I'll tell you what to do even before you even get there. Okay, so then the next one is this one. If I really recommend, but it depends too, because I know some get couple. I don't know what's going on with the thing. Rather than them taking out your paycheck, okay? So I encourage you to do that. Like if you can work a per diem job as opposed to a job that's staff pay, it will really help you to save up the money a lot more. Okay, then the next one, this one is really key. So one thing you guys don't know about me is that, like, I'm a very well-rounded person. Like, I know, like, obviously I'm a nurse, but I also, like, take the time to invest in other things to keep myself well-rounded. So I have a basic general understanding of, like, finances. I'm starting now to learn about stocks. I'm starting to learn a little bit more about real estate. So I try to, like, keep myself informed. And, you know, something this is totally, like, random too. Like, I also was part of a network marketing group. I did that too, yes, while I was a nurse. Did that as well. And it was a financial, like, network marketing group. So I learned a ton of information about finances, like a lot of information about finances. And I even got, like, licensed and everything. I know, crazy, right? I even got licensed and everything. So technically, I'm technically a licensed financial advisor, but I just don't use it at all. But yeah, so, like, I learned a lot. So what I encourage you to do, so when you're saving up for this money, because one thing I remember when I was saving up my money, like, I was, like, really frustrated because I put my money into a savings account, or I put my money in a CD account, and I was irritated because, like, I'm like, dang, this money's not growing. Like, it was like 8 months and it's only like a penny more. Like, you know, I was just so irritated. So what I encourage you to do, don't do that. If you can, put your money into a Roth IRA, put your money into a high yield CD account. So that way it grows at a higher rate. So, like, for example, one of the accounts that I put I don't endorse anything, but I'm just saying that this is something that I personally use and that I recommend. So one place that I really like is an online bank called Ally Bank. Like I said, this is all on my website, choosenursing.net. I really like an online website called allybank.com. They're totally FDIC insured. They're totally credible bank. They've been around for years. They have really high interest rates. Well, not super high, but, you know, much more significant than the average bank that you're gonna find at Wells Fargo, Chase. You're not gonna find anything that's this high. So for a 9-month CD account, you can get a APY of 0.64%, which is really good. Like, that's, you know, especially depending on how much money you put in there. So I recommend, and what I'm gonna do actually I'm about to open a new Roth IRA account with them and transfer some of my money over. into a higher yield account. So I recommend doing this because honestly, for me, like I put some money aside when I first started my career, and I've been a nurse now for almost 6 years, and I still have money in there, and it's still growing. So I encourage you, and it's gonna help you get to that mark a lot faster. Real estate is a great option too, and it can offer, yeah, definitely. Like if you can learn it, do it. If you can learn it and it's gonna be profitable, do it, and then just stack your money, you know. And put your money in smart places. Don't put your money in a regular savings account. Don't put your money in a regular, have some money, put aside. But if you're trying to build something, I really encourage you that you put your money into into a Roth IRA, into a high yield CD account, something where your money can grow on its own without you even touching it, and you just forget about it, and then bam, like money just grew. So I really encourage you to consider doing that. There's this and the earlier you start, the better. Like that's why I try to really push, especially for people who are younger, that are like in your 20s. You are at a gold mine age. Like as long as if you put in if you start an account, like there's this really good book that I recommend too. I don't have it in front of me, but this is a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. It's an excellent, just like not even a lot of good book. I really recommend that you read that book. Versus somebody who was like 40 years old, and after he started putting the money, it took him a lot longer. Hey, Wonder Woman, it took him a lot longer to save that money. So I really encourage people that's why I say educated. Like you lose money not being informed. Like that's just what I learned. So I really encourage you read the Slight Edge book. If you have some money right now in your account, while you're building your money, put into a high yield account. Don't let it in a savings account. It's not going to grow that way. Okay, now the next one, this is tip number 7, work overtime, but don't kill yourself with overtime. Because honestly, if you work yourself, you can make a lot of money working overtime, but I don't recommend that you kill yourself working overtime. You know, maybe like an extra 1 or 2 days, that makes a difference. And that's really good, but don't do too much, because some places, it depends to what type of job. How do you feel about credit unions? You know what, I never personally use credit unions, but I've been told that it's a lot, it's really good, it's very secure. It's really good as far as like saving, another place to save your money. And some credit unions are good because, like, let's say you have a job, you can access your money sooner, and then they also have their own type of like rewards and like their own credit cards. So I never personally used it. I've been told a lot do that. Yeah, lower interest rates. Yeah, that's so. I thought about using credit unions too, but I never personally use it. But I have heard that it's a good option as well. So work overtime, and then use the extra money to put towards your overtime, to put towards that balance, right? But don't kill yourself, because at some point you're working overtime, but you're losing everything in taxes. So like you could be working like 3 extra days, but you may not see it until like you get your tax return or something, because like it will just, because unfortunately Uncle Sam, he be taking his cut too. So work overtime, but don't kill yourself. Don't work too much overtime. You're welcome. And then the last one, this is number 7. Use your PTO wisely. And then what I mean by this is an inside scoop. This is if you're really serious about like making like a really good amount of money over time quickly. This is what you can do. I don't recommend everybody doing this. This is if you're serious about like putting that dough together. And I recommend doing this too. So what you do. And unfortunately, not all jobs will let you take your time off all the time. But what you do is that you have either 2 jobs or you have a seasonal job. And so what you do is that you take, like, for example, you take a whole week off. Like, let's say you have a full-time job, and then you work like another job that's like, what's a good example? Not like it's not like a second job, but it's like you work a registry. There we go. So what you do, this is like a really great way to make some extra money quick. PRN, yes. So what you do, right, is that you take, like, let's say you take a week off. It sucks because you're still using your PTO, but honestly, if you're serious, you can do this. You take like a whole week off, right? Then what you do is like you schedule to work during like a registry during your PTO. Not every single day, but maybe like use, like, let's say you take off 7 days, you're off 7 days at your full-time job, but then you work like 2 or 3 days at your registry job, right? So then now what will happen is that not only will you make money because of the full-time days that you worked, but on top of that, you also make the money from the registry. So because you have the PTO, you have the hours, whatever, from that, and then that equates to money. You're gonna get that, and then you couple that with the registry. That's another way to really help you get to that mark faster. So I don't recommend doing that like a lot throughout the year, because you're gonna like overwhelm yourself and kill yourself with, you know, with just a workload. Yeah, but it's a really good way to like build up fast, like especially if you want to just like, if you, like I said, with just like in anything, like if you're intentional and you make a plan, you can put aside that money real quick, like really quick. Okay, and then the last one is this is just like in anything, is that you want to get an accountability partner, somebody who can like keep you accountable with your goals. Like somebody like, hey, how's that going with the 50K goal? Like how are you doing with that? Or somebody who you trust, who you can call, even if it's a spouse, or you know, that ideally if it's a spouse, somebody that can encourage you while you're doing it. And you just stick to it, and you pay attention to where you're putting your money. I'm telling you, it's not hard. It's not hard. So once you so you do all these things, right? And after if you just commit, and you'll be surprised how quickly a year can go by. It can go by really fast. So you commit to this thing, all these things within the year. Not only will you put the 50K aside, right? You put that into either that Roth IRA, that high yield CD account, or so you can do that. Put that money aside, right? And let that grow in the interest, right? You can do that, or you can take a portion of that, right, and invest it into something else and then make your money again. So like, I'm telling you, that's one of the beauties about nursing, is like, there's so much room for opportunities and for more advantages. So I really encourage you guys to like really consider doing these things and like take a heart of these tips. So if you want to learn more, there's like on my website, like I said, it's choosingnursing.net, and you just go to, I think it's on the second page, and it's called How to Save 50K as a new nurse. And so I learned all these things in details, so you can really go through and read it really, really well, and like try to apply it to your own personal situation. So that was really it, you guys. That's all I wanted to share with you guys for tonight. I hope that you found this really helpful. If you found this helpful, then maybe somebody else will find this helpful too. So if you haven't already, share this out with somebody. They might appreciate it as well, like whether it's Twitter or your followers. And I'll be sure to continue to give out more content like this, that's going to help not only just helping you, teaching you, choosingnursing.net. Yeah, I have a link actually in my bio, and you can click on that one as well on here on Periscope as well, and you can go there as well. So so just definitely share this out if you haven't already on Twitter or with your followers. I really appreciate it, because this may end up helping somebody, because you don't even have to be a nurse to really apply these things. I'm just giving examples as a nurse, but if you can take some of these tips as well, and with the numbers that I gave you, you can use it to build really fast. And you can, and one thing I didn't mention too is, like, I know some people, you may have loan and debt, and that may make it a little bit harder, but if you still apply some of these principles, you can still save a significant portion of your money and then pay off your loans. Oh, thanks yeah, you're welcome. Oh, of course. So that was it, you guys. I have to run, but I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this information. And I'm really appreciative for you guys taking time to watch, to listen. I really, honestly, it means a lot to me. So I really, truly appreciate it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'll definitely be back on again. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely be back on again. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again. All right. So you guys have a great night. If this is your first time seeing me on the replay, just definitely click on my name and hit the follow button. Okay. All right. So that was it, you guys. All right. So take care. Okay. Bye.